Hello everyone, so welcome to session 2 of Knowing Our Numbers. In the previous session, we had discussed about the place value, face value, expanded form and standard form of numbers. So in this video, we will be discussing about rounding of numbers, estimation, international place value system and Indian place value system. Okay, so let's move on. Till now, you have learned up to 5-digit numbers and you know that greatest 1-digit number plus 1 will give you the smallest 2-digit number. And again it goes, greatest 2-digit number plus 1 gives you the smallest 3-digit number. And the greatest 3-digit number plus 1 gives you the smallest 4-digit number. Greatest 4-digit number plus 1 gives you smallest 5-digit number. So here we go with the smallest 6-digit number. How do you get the smallest 6-digit number? You get the smallest 6-digit number when you add 1 to the greatest 5-digit number. So what is our greatest 5-digit number? 99,999. And you get 1 lakh. Greatest 6-digit number plus 1 will give you smallest 7-digit number. Greatest 7-digit number plus 1 will give you smallest 8-digit number. Okay, so all this you may already be aware of. So let us look into the two different types of number system. There are mainly two methods to express a number, the Indian system and the international system. In both these systems, a number is split up into groups called periods. In the Indian system, starting from the right, the groups are called ones or units, thousands, lakhs and crores. These are the periods that you have for the Indian system. Whereas for the international system, you will have ones, then you will have thousands, then you will have millions, billions, and it goes. Okay, so let us look into detail about each type of number system. So first we will look into Indian system of numeration. So as I said, in the Indian system of numeration, these are the periods. The periods are being mentioned here. These are the periods. You have ones period, thousands period, lakhs period, and crores period. So the ones period is being split up into hundreds, tens, and ones, whereas the thousands periods are split into thousand and 10,000s. Just like that, lakhs is also split up into lakhs and 10 lakhs. Crores into crores and 10 crores. Okay. So let us look into an example. If you look into this number 527621390. So if you are asked to write this particular number in Indian system of numeration, how you will be writing it, I'll just tell you. Beginning from the right, a comma is put after the first 3 digits and then after 2 digits. If you look into this example, you can see. See, I start counting from the right side. From the right, I start counting from the right. After 3 digits, I'll put a comma. Okay. Then after every 2 digits, I put a comma. So how do I read this number? Yes, this is ones, tens, hundreds, thousands, 10,000s, lakh, 10 lakhs, crores, and 10 crores. So I have 52 crore, 76 lakh, 21,390. How do I read it? 52 crores 76 lakh 21,390. Okay, so let us see how is it different from international system of numeration. In international system of numeration, you have the periods as I said, ones period, thousands period, millions period and billions period. Okay, so let us look into the same example. See the same number 527621390. If you are asked to write this particular number in international system of numeration, how will you be doing it? You will do in the same way, but the commas will be put after 3 digits. Again, you will be counting from the right and you will put comma after 3 digits. Okay, if you can look into my example over here, see, I put the comma after 1, 2, 3. One comma is put here. Again, I count 1, 2, 3. I put another comma here. So, how do you read this number? If you check the place value of this number, ones, tens, hundreds, thousands, 10,000, 100,000, million, 10 million, 100 million. So how will I read out this number? I will say 527,621,390. Got it? 527,621,390. This is how I will write this particular number in the international system of numeration. Okay? Now, can you all help me with this numeral? You can just pause your video and then write this numeral in both the systems. Okay, so I will just show you what type of system is this, in which system is this number written here. Yes, I have, if you can look into this answer, you can see I have put a comma after 3 digits from the right, then I have put another comma after 2 digits. Yes, so which number system is this? Yes, it is the Indian number system. Okay. Yes, it's the Indian number system. So how can you write this particular number in international number system? You can just pause the video and try to write it. Okay. Let us see how to write. Yes, what did I do here? The same way I start to count from the right. I count 3 digits, then I put a comma. Then again I count 3 digits, I put my second comma. So this method of representing the number is called as international system. So what is this number actually? I have written this number in words in Indian system. Which system is this? This is Indian system. I have written this number in words in the Indian system. I have written it in the Indian system. 2 crore 90 lakh 55,800. Okay. You would have already learned what is a predecessor and successor. Many of you would be very familiar with this term, predecessor and successor. Yes? So what is predecessor of a number? The predecessor of a number, yes. Yes, can you all think for a while? The predecessor of a number is the number just before it, and it is obtained by subtracting 1 from the given number. Okay, when you subtract 1 from the given number, you get the predecessor. I'll show you an example. If I want to write the predecessor of 325, what am I supposed to do? I am supposed to subtract 1 from it. So I will get 324. Okay, so now let us look what is the successor. Successor of a number. The successor of any given number is obtained by adding 1 to the given number. Let us find the successor for the same number. Let me take 325. So what am I supposed to do? I am supposed to add 1 to this number and I will get 326. Okay, this is how we find the predecessor and successor of a given number. Now we look into building numbers. So the first type by which we build the numbers are without the repetition of digits. So that means the digits given won't be repeated. If you are asked to form the smallest and the greatest numbers using the following digits, how will you be doing it? How should you do that? You can all give a try. You can just pause the video and give a try. You can all form the smallest possible 4-digit number using this 4 digits. So as it is already mentioned here that we don't have any repetition, so it's sure that the smallest number should be of 4 digit. Okay, so in order to write the smallest 4-digit number, what are you supposed to do? As we learned in the previous session about the ascending and descending order of numbers, in order to find the smallest 4-digit number, you will have to arrange the given numbers in ascending order. Ascending order means from smallest to the largest. So what is the smallest digit here? The smallest is 1. So you arrange 1, then next you have 7, then you have 8 and then 9. So the smallest possible 4-digit number that you can form using these 4 digits is 1789. Understood? Just like that, to form the largest 4-digit number, what you have to do is, can you just give a try? Yes, you will have to arrange these digits in descending order. What do you mean by descending order? You have to arrange these digits from largest to the smallest. So which is the largest number among the list here? It is 9. Then you have 8. Then you have 7 and 1. So how do you do that? 9, 8, 7, 1. If you can see, we have not repeated any of the digits. Yes? Okay. There is a special case in which, in case you have a 0. Okay. Suppose the number given to you. Now, suppose the digits given to you are, this is for just as an example, if the numbers given to you are 0, 8 and 5. If you are given these 3 digits, how will you form the smallest 3-digit number? Yes, in case you have 0 as one of the digits, what are you supposed to do? We have to put 0 in the second place from the left. The same step you will have to do. You will have to arrange these digits in the ascending order. But when you form the number, what will you do? You will put 0 in the second place from the left. So the smallest number that can be formed with these 3 digits is 508. Okay. So let us just recall the rule. To build the greatest number, arrange the given digits in decreasing order. To build the smallest number, arrange the given digits in ascending order. If 0 is one of the digits, put it at the second place from the left. Okay. So now let us see. Okay, now let us see how to build numbers with repetition of digits. Okay. So if you are asked to use these 3 digits and form the smallest and the greatest 4-digit number, how will you be doing it? Yes, in this case, if you are asked to find the smallest 4-digit number by repeating smallest 4-digit number you need to make. So how will you find the smallest 4-digit number? The same way. What did you do there? We arrange the numbers in the increasing order. Just like that, you will also arrange these digits in the increasing order. 4, 7 and 8. Then they are asking you to find the smallest 4-digit number. So what do you do in that case? You will repeat the smallest digit. Okay, so which is the smallest digit here? It is 4. So you will repeat 4. Yes, so 4, 4, 7, 8 will be your smallest 4-digit number. Okay, so in order to find the greatest 4-digit number, what will you do? Greatest 4-digit number. What will you do? Can you just try? Can all of you try? Yes, as we did, you have to arrange these digits in the decreasing order. And in this case, what are you supposed to do? You will have to repeat your greatest digit. So which is the greatest digit here? It is 8. So you will repeat your greatest digit 8 and you will form your number. Okay, understood? For the greatest number, you repeat the greatest digit. For the smallest number, you repeat the smallest. Now let us look into estimation and rounding of numbers. When do you have to round or estimate the numbers? Yes, there are many situations when it is not possible to determine the exact number. For example, in a cricket match being played between two nations, it is not possible to determine precisely the number of people watching the match. We take a guess and give a number which is close to the exact number. That is called estimation. So what is that we are doing in order to estimate the given number? We estimate or guess approximate values by rounding off the numbers. Okay, so there are certain rules for rounding off the numbers. How do you round a given number? Yes. What is that we have to follow? If I ask you to round a particular number, 35, or let me take 135. If I ask you to round 35 to the nearest tens, so how will you do it? To round to the nearest tens, you will look into the ones digit. What is the ones digit here? It is 5. If the ones digit is 5 or greater than 5, 5 or greater than 5, what will you do? You will add 1 to the number in the tens place. Okay. So 135 will be rounded to 140. Okay. If I ask you to round this particular number 135 to the nearest hundreds, so what is the digit in the hundreds place? You have 1. So what is the place that is next to hundreds place? You have tens place. And what is the digit in the tens place? It is less than 5. So what will you do? The number in the hundreds place remain as it is. There won't be any change for that digit. So you will write 1 and the remaining digits will become 0. Okay. So you will round 135 to 100 if you are asked to round to the nearest 100. Understood? If I ask you to round to the nearest thousands, suppose my number is 2463. So what is the digit in the thousands place? The digit in the thousands place is 2. So what am I supposed to do? I should look into the place to the right of the thousands place, which is that it is 100. So I will have to see whether the digit in the hundreds place is less than or equal to 5 or greater than 5. 4 we know 4 is less than 5. So what are you supposed to do? The remaining digits and even the 4 will become 0. It cannot push it to the next level. So it will become 2000. Understood? Let us solve some problems by rounding off to the nearest tens. Okay. So the first question is 573. So I have asked you to round to the nearest tens. So what is the digit in the tens place? It is 7. So what are you supposed to do? The digit at the right of the tens place, that is in the ones place, you have 3. And you know 3 is less than 5. So you are supposed to round down. So what happens to 3? 3 becomes 0 and 7 remains unchanged. So your number after rounding will be 570. Okay, let us take another example. 636. Round it to the nearest tens. So what is the first thing? What is the digit in the tens place? You have got 3. So what are you supposed to do? The digit at the right of the tens place, that is the digit in the ones place, is 6. And you know 6 is greater than 5. So you can round up. So what will happen? 36 will be rounded to 40. So you will get 640. Okay. You will increase the digit in the tens place by 1 if the digit lying to the right of it is 5 or greater than 5. Okay. Let us take one more example. 807. If I take 807, how will you round to the nearest 10? Can you all give a try? The digit in the tens place is 0. So I'm supposed to look into the digit in the right. What is that? It is 7. And you know 7 is greater than 5. 7 is greater than 5. So this 0 is increased by 1 and 7 is replaced by 0. So you will get 810. Okay. So let us move on. Now we will do estimating sums and differences. We will do estimating the sum and differences of 6,320 plus 1,593. Okay, so they are asking us to estimate the sum. So what are you supposed to do if you are asked to estimate and find the sum? You will have to round to the highest place value of the given number. So which is the highest place value here? You have thousands place. So you will round all these two addends to thousands place. Okay. So when you round 6,320 to the nearest thousands, what will it become? What are you supposed to do in order to round? You will check the digit to the right side of it. That means in the hundreds place. You have 3 there and 3 is less than 5. So what happens? It pushes it down. So what will happen? So your number will be, after rounding, 6,320 will be 6,000. Okay. And how about here? 1,593. Yes, the number lying next to 1 is the digit lying next to 1 in the hundreds place is 5. So it, yes, so it increases by 1. What will increase by 1? The digit in the thousands place increases by 1. So it becomes 2000. Okay. So now you will add 6,000 and 2,000 and your answer will be 8,000. Okay. The same thing is applicable if you are asked to find the difference of 6,320 and 1,593. So again you will use the same method of rounding. 6,320 will be rounded to 6,000 and 1,593 will be rounded to 2,000 and your answer will be 4,000. Okay. Our next topic is Roman numerals. Most of you would have heard of the term Roman numerals and would be familiar about the representing of numbers using Roman numerals. Let us have a brief idea of what Roman numerals are and how to represent some numbers in Roman numerals. What are Roman numerals? Actually, in the recent centuries, pretty much the entire world has transitioned over to the modern numeral system, which is known as Hindu Arabic numerals, where we use 10 symbols, numbers 0 through 9 to make up all other numbers. Before that was created, however, one of the primary numeral system was created by Romans. For example, even now we use Roman numerals. Can you all think of an example where you have seen the application of Roman numerals? Yes, we have been using the Roman numerals in clocks. It is also used for classes in the school timetable, etc. Now, when you look into this Roman numerals, can you see 1 was represented by an I, 2 was represented by 2I, and 4 is represented by IV, right? 5 as V. So C is given as a representation for 100 and 500 was mentioned as D and M as 1000. So can you see something over here? What do you see here? 50 is L and 60 is LX. So do you find any speciality in that? So can you tell me how are they writing these numbers? Yes, what are they doing? The number written to the right is getting added up. If you are asked to write 60, so how do you write 60 in terms of 50? You will write 50 plus 10. Okay. What is the symbol given for? What is the Roman numeral for 50? It is L. And what is the Roman numeral given for 10? You have X. So you write LX. If you are asked to write the Roman numeral of 80, how will you write it in terms of 50? You will write 50 plus 10 plus 10. That means L, X, X, X. Whatever is put to the right is getting added to the number. Okay. So if you can notice here, can you see here for 4? The I is put to the left of V. So that means from V, you are going to subtract. That means from 5, you are going to subtract 1. So you get 4. When you look into 9, can you see? From 10, you are subtracting 1 so that you get 9. So these were the representations used by Romans. Okay. The same thing happens if you look into 90. What do you observe? It is written as XC. Why is it written as XC? What does C denotes? C denotes 100. And this X is written to the left of it. So that means from 100, you have to subtract 10, which will give you 90. Okay. So the rules for the system are, if a symbol is repeated, its value is added as many times as it occurs. If you look into this I. So that means it is equal to 2. If you look into 20, can you see here? XX. That means 10, which is 20. Okay, 30, same as XXX. And next rule is, a symbol is not repeated more than 3 times. You would have already seen here. Can you see here? I. How many times have I been repeated? I is repeated 3 times. Just like that, can you see? X is repeated for a max of 3 times. Understood? Even over here. After 30, it is not being repeated for 40 as XXXX. You are writing 40 in terms of L. Understood? That means the same symbol is not repeated more than 3 times. But the symbols V, L and D are never repeated. V, L and D are never repeated. If a symbol of smaller value is written to the right of a symbol of greater value, its value gets added to the value of the greater symbol. As I said, 6. If you look into 6, it is 5 plus 1. That means this is 5 and this is 1. So it denotes 6. Okay. So same like that for 7. 5 plus 1 plus 1, which denotes 7. Okay. So I hope you all enjoyed this session. And with this, we have come to the end of our first chapter, knowing our numbers. And I'll be uploading a new video on whole numbers. Thank you for watching my video. Please subscribe and share and like my video if you have enjoyed my session. Thank you.